My mother was the side chick in my marriage. And she didn't just want the man, she wanted my place. Welcome to Shishi Fairy Tales. People stared first, then they smiled. Then came the question, hold on. You two are sisters, right? They didn't ask carefully, they assumed. At restaurants, waiters said it casually. At church, women whispered it behind folded hands. At weddings, photographers pulled them side by side as if it was obvious. And Vera loved every second of it. She would laugh softly, smooth her dress, and rest a hand on Fenna's shoulder. That's my daughter, she'd say, but the compliment stayed glowing in her eyes. She wore it proudly. Vera didn't look like someone's mother. She carried herself with elegance and quiet power. Her outfits were always stylish. Her hair perfectly set. Her smile arrived exactly when needed. Beside her stood Fenna, almost a reflection. Same bright eyes. Same warm skin tone. Same gentle elegance. When they wore matching outfits, which happened often, the resemblance felt almost unreal. Same colors, same style, same glow. They didn't just look alike, they moved alike, walking in step. Laughing at private jokes. Adjusting each other's outfits. Taking photos like best friends. At church, they turned heads. At events, people admired them openly. Their closeness felt natural, effortless. Vera had raised Fenna alone, and that journey tied them together in a way few could understand. They spoke about everything: dreams, fears, love, the future. Fenna hid nothing from her mother. Vera listened deeply, calm, supportive, involved. To Fenna, her mother was more than family. She was her role model, her pride, the woman she hoped to become, and to the world watching from the outside, they weren't just mother and daughter, they looked like a perfect story. Fenna did not fall in love easily. She had been raised to believe love was not just butterflies and sweet words. Love needed character, patience, direction. That was why Valentine felt different. They met at university, where noise and distractions were everywhere. But Valentine moved quietly through life. Focused. Intentional. While others competed for attention, he paid attention. He listened when Fenna spoke. He remembered small things: her favorite color, her fear of thunderstorms, her dream of earning a master's degree one day. He did not rush love. He built it slowly, like something meant to last. So when he finally spoke about marriage, Fenna did not panic. She did not doubt. She simply felt sure. Only one opinion mattered now, Vera's. The day Valentine came to visit, the house felt unusually still. Even the air seemed to wait. Fenna's heart raced with excitement, but Vera's expression was calm, almost too calm. She opened the door. Valentine greeted her with respect, his voice steady. For a moment, Vera did not respond. She just looked at him, not casually, not politely, carefully. Then she smiled. They sat together and talked. Valentine answered every question with confidence: education, career plans, family background, future goals. Everything sounded right. Too right. After he left, Fenna expected celebration. Maybe laughter. Wedding ideas. Happy tears. Instead, Vera went quiet. That man is not good for Fenna, she said slowly. The words felt like cold water. Why? Fenna asked, shocked. Vera looked away. Some men appear perfect. That does not mean they are. But Fenna knew Valentine. His kindness was not performance. His love was not loud, it was steady. The discussion stretched for hours. Fenna defended him, voice breaking, eyes filled with tears. Finally, Vera sighed. If he makes Fenna happy, then continue. Her words gave permission, her eyes did not. And for the first time in her life, Fenna felt something unfamiliar when looking at her mother. Not fear, not anger, just a small, quiet doubt. She could not explain. Only weeks after Valentine's visit, Vera called Fenna late one evening. Her voice sounded different, lighter, almost playful. Vera has news, she said. Fenna smiled, surprised. Vera rarely spoke about her personal life. There is someone, Vera continued. A good man. Fenna sat up. Since when? Vera laughed softly. Love does not need long introductions. The words felt rushed. What is his name? Fenna asked. Mike, Vera replied. Responsible. Calm. Well-spoken. Very mature. Fenna froze for a second. Those were the same words she used to describe Valentine, the same tone, the same admiration. Vera had always admired her daughter, her youth, her opportunities, her bright future. She praised Fenna proudly to friends and neighbors. But somewhere along the way, admiration slowly became imitation. Vera began dressing younger, trying new styles Fenna liked, wearing brighter colors, taking selfies the same way, laughing louder, living lighter, and now, loving someone who sounded exactly like the man Fenna planned to marry. It was subtle, easy to ignore, but it was there. What does he do? Fenna asked gently. He is established, Vera said quickly. Knows how to treat a woman. Something about the conversation felt like a performance, like Vera wanted approval more than she wanted to share happiness. Still, Fenna tried to be supportive. Just be careful. Not everyone who looks right is right. Vera's response came fast. Vera is not young and foolish. That night, Fenna lay awake, staring at the ceiling. 2 love stories had started at almost the same time. 2 women in the same family, both excited, both hopeful, but there was a strange feeling Fenna could not name, like a quiet competition had entered the air without anyone admitting it, and for the first time, the closeness that once felt warm, felt different, not broken, just changing. The day Fenna got married, everyone said it was perfect. The church was filled with flowers. Soft music drifted through the air. Friends and family waited with bright smiles, turning their heads the moment the doors opened. Fenna walked down the aisle, glowing with happiness. Valentine stood at the altar, calm and proud, watching the woman he promised to love forever. In the front row sat Vera, elegant, composed, smiling. Guests whispered about how young and beautiful she looked. Some said she could pass for the bride's sister. Others praised her for raising such a graceful daughter. Vera accepted every compliment with quiet pride. When the vows were exchanged, tears gathered in Fenna's eyes. She felt safe, chosen, blessed. She glanced at her mother and smiled, thinking, Mom must be proud. Vera's expression did not change. At the reception, laughter and music filled the hall. Fenna danced with Valentine, holding his hand tightly, feeling lucky. Vera stayed close to the couple most of the evening. She adjusted Valentine's collar once, brushed invisible dust from his jacket, laughed at his jokes, sometimes a little longer than expected. No one thought it was unusual. She's just a loving mother-in-law, people said. Months passed. Marriage life slowly settled into routine. Then good news came. Fenna gained admission into a master's program. Valentine supported the decision. He said education would secure their future. Life grew busy. Then came another surprise. Fenna was pregnant, joy mixed with pressure. Studies continued. Morning sickness began. Exhaustion followed her everywhere. Help was needed. There was only one person Fenna trusted completely. Mom, she said softly over the phone, please come stay for a while. Vera agreed without hesitation, and when she entered the house with her suitcase, everyone felt relief. No one realized this was the moment everything quietly began to change. At first, Vera's presence felt like a blessing. The house became organized. Meals were ready on time. Clothes were neatly folded. Even the air seemed calmer. Fenna finally had space to rest between classes, hospital visits, and the constant tiredness that followed her everywhere. Valentine praised Vera often. You raised an incredible woman, he told her one evening. Vera smiled. She chose a good husband too. It sounded normal, comforting, but slowly, small things began to feel different. Vera started serving Valentine his meals herself, even when Fenna tried to help. She would gently stop her. Pregnant women should not stress, she would say, guiding Fenna back to the couch. Valentine never objected. When he returned from work, Vera was usually the first to greet him, asking about his day, listening carefully, laughing softly at his stories as if she had all the time in the world. Sometimes Fenna would walk into the living room and find them deep in conversation. When she entered, the room would go quiet for a second too long. Just talking, Valentine would say quickly, Vera would nod, her smile too ready. One evening, Fenna stood quietly at the hallway corner and watched them without being seen. Their laughter floated easily, comfortable, familiar. Another night, Fenna noticed a familiar scent. Vera had changed her perfume. It was the same fragrance Valentine once described as elegant on a woman. Then came the clothes. Vera began wearing more fitted outfits at home. Younger styles. Lipstick even in the evenings. Does this look good? She asked once, turning slowly. Valentine looked up, and did not look away quickly. Fenna felt something twist inside, not jealousy, not anger. Something colder. Something harder to name. Still, she pushed the feeling aside. This was her mother. This was her husband. Two people she trusted without question. But trust does not disappear suddenly, it fades quietly. Through moments no one can prove, yet no one can forget. The house looked peaceful from the outside. Inside, something had shifted. Fenna's days felt heavier than before. Classes demanded attention. Her body demanded rest. Pregnancy made even small movements exhausting. Some evenings, she fell asleep before dinner, too tired to finish a conversation. Valentine began spending more time in the living room after work. Vera was almost always there. At first, it looked harmless. Conversation. Laughter. Shared stories about work and life. Vera asked about his day. Valentine listened when she spoke about experience, struggle, and success. She understood his frustrations without long explanations. It flowed easily, too easily. One night, Fenna woke up thirsty and walked toward the kitchen. The lights were low. The house was quiet except for soft voices. Vera and Valentine stood close, talking in hushed tones. Their voices stopped the moment Fenna stepped in. Couldn't sleep, Valentine said quickly. Vera smiled, calm as ever. We were just talking. Fenna nodded, but something inside her tightened. After that night, it became a pattern, late-night talks. Private jokes. Long conversations that paused when Fenna entered the room. A kind of comfort that looked natural, yet felt misplaced. Valentine started making small comments without realizing it. Your mom understands people well. She's very strong. And once, almost absent-mindedly, you're strong like her. The comparison lingered in the air. Fenna began feeling like a guest in her own home, present, but not included. She sat quietly during meals while their conversations flowed around her. She told herself she was imagining things. Stress. Hormones. Overthinking. But deep down, she knew one truth she could not silence. The distance in her marriage was growing. And someone else was standing in that space. Comfort can be beautiful, but when comfort crosses a boundary, it becomes dangerous. Sleep would not come that night. Fenna turned in bed, her body heavy, her mind louder than ever. 8 months pregnant, exhausted, yet restless. Beside her, Valentine lay awake, the glow of his phone lighting his face in the darkness. Then a message appeared. The name was saved with Mom in love, but the words froze her. I missed tonight already. Her heart began to pound. Slowly, carefully, she picked up the phone. More messages, hidden chats, deleted call logs. Then a voice note, soft laughter, her mother's voice. The air left her lungs. Suddenly, a memory returned. Mike. The man Vera once claimed to love. The man who didn't work out. Now it made sense. There had never been space for Mike. Because there had always been someone else. Fenna walked down the hallway, her steps slow, unsteady. Vera's bedroom door was slightly open. Inside, Vera sat on the bed, smiling at her phone. Valentine's message tone echoed again. Their eyes met. No shock, no fear, just truth. Valentine appeared behind Fenna. Silence stretched. Then Fenna's voice came, low and broken. Mom. Why him? At first Vera tried to deny, but her face hardened. I am done living only as someone's mother, she said. I deserve a life too. I deserve happiness. Fenna turned to Valentine, tears spilling freely. I am 8 months pregnant. Studying for our future. And you choose this. Valentine didn't step toward her. You changed, he said. Pregnancy is not an excuse to stop trying. You buried yourself in school. The house felt empty. Your mom brought life back. The words cut deeper than any scream. Vera's voice rose, full of years of pain. You don't understand what it means to be assaulted at 13. I became a mother before I understood life. Men stopped seeing me as attractive. I carried shame. I carried struggle. I lost everything before I began. Her chest rose sharply. And now the one man who chooses me. I won't lose him too. Fenna felt like the world tilted. Mom. I am your daughter. I am done sacrificing. You have ruined my life enough, Vera said. Mom. You are selfish, you disgust me right now. You don't deserve to be called a mother. Fenna reached for Valentine with tears in her eyes. Please don't leave me like this. He pulled away. I'm tired of pretending. They turned toward the door together. Fenna tried to follow, but the weight of her body and the pain in her chest overwhelmed her. Fenna quickly held her mom's dress. Vera tried to remove Fenna's hand, but Fenna refused. She picked up the stool beside her and hit Fenna on her head. She laid on the floor, her knees gave way. The door shut. The house fell silent. The gatekeeper had heard the raised voices earlier. When he saw Fenna fell on the floor, he rushed to help outside the house. He shouted for help. A passing older woman stopped her car, alarmed. She stepped out immediately. Help her inside, she said. At the hospital, the woman stayed. She paid. She waited. She listened. When Fenna finally spoke, the woman did not look at her with pity. She looked at her with love. When the baby came, the woman cried first. God has brought a daughter and grandson into my house, she whispered. She took Fenna home. She gave her care. She gave her safety. Months later, Fenna graduated with distinction, top of her class. But her breakthrough had already begun. During her master's, she had submitted her research into an international corporate innovation challenge. Her work stood out. On graduation day, her phone rang, not an entry-level job. A strategic business analyst leadership track role. Base salary, $180,000 per year, performance bonus, up to $50,000, full benefits and relocation package. Fenna held her baby, tears falling quietly, because the woman they said was neglecting her home had been building a future none of them could imagine. And when her moment came, it did not whisper, it announced itself. Vera and Valentine was finally arrested. Moral lesson: pain is not an excuse to hurt others, and betrayal cannot stop someone who refuses to give up on themselves. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Turn on your notifications, because the next story is even deeper. Thank you for watching and being part of this journey. I love you all, Shishi Fairy Tales.